Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lara and I like mascara. Today's video, I don't even know what I'm gonna call it yet at this point, but I'm basically doing a recap of all of the products that I disliked so much that I talked about them in a video. My makeup today didn't exactly turn out how I was expecting. I did this really cool look a couple weeks back and tried it again today, and it didn't work as well. I'll insert some pictures of what it looked like the first time. It was actually good, but it's okay. I'll try it again another day. We're just working with what we have now. But yeah, basically, if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you would have probably seen my chopping block videos in which I talk about products that I haven't really decided one way or another if I'm going to declutter because I don't like them for one reason or another, or maybe they're expired or they're just not working great, but I can't yet bring myself to declutter them. I really have to put in some more effort and think about them more before I decide that it's time to say bye-bye and chuck them. So today's video, I'm going to be looking back on my previous chopping block videos and neglected products videos and seeing how many of those products I actually ended up keeping long term. So some of those things, after the initial chopping block video, a few months later would follow up with a video saying what I decided to keep and what I decided to declutter. So obviously a significant number of products were decluttered pretty much from the get-go. But now, looking back a year later, a year and a half later, I'm going to be talking about if I actually ended up keeping the products long term. So even if I did decide to keep them after those initial few months of, being on that chopping block, did I actually keep it long term, or did everything just end up getting decluttered? So let's hop right into it. So I have done two series of chopping block videos. I did one in 2021. So initial chopping block video in February 2021, and then I think I did the update in like April or something. And then I did another chopping block series this year where I did the first video again, I think in around February, and then I did an update. But my update was fairly recent, 2 months ago, so August. Yeah. So I'm actually not going to be talking about this year's chopping block video because that just feels too recent. Like I haven't decluttered that much stuff since August. So, if you guys like this idea, then I can do this again next year. But I'm just going to be looking at that initial chopping block video and also a video I called my most neglected products. Because, if something's getting neglected, there's usually a good reason for it. Likely I don't like the product, or it doesn't perform well, or it's expired. So I'm going to be talking about those products and if I ended up decluttering them. And then also I did a video called my most hated products. Was that what I called it? Recently I did a video called my worst impulse purchases, makeup I regret buying. And it would be interesting to do an update on that one too, because I feel like for makeup that I bought on impulse, I'm less likely to, feel super strongly about it. So maybe eventually I will talk about that as well in terms of decluttering. I did a video called makeup I'm still using that needs to be decluttered, but that was only 7 months ago. So again, I will update that in next year's video if I do another one of these. Retesting products I hated. So it was a get ready with me where I was trying out things that I didn't like. And it's funny because that makeup look actually turned out really well. I really liked the look, but individually I didn't like the products. And I find that happens sometimes. Like often a product can still get you good results, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you enjoy it or the way it applies or anything. But anyways, let's just hop right into it. And I'm going to go through and talk about which of these chopping block neglected products I hated, I still have to this day, a year or over a year later. Okay, so I will link here my original chopping block video, and it feels so long ago now because obviously, that was over a year and a half ago now, but some of the things in that video, I had the original Naked palette. I do not still have that, of course, but I had that palette for so long. And I think when I put it in the original chopping block video, I didn't think that I was originally going to declutter it because it's, so iconic. But that is actually something that I decluttered for my follow-up chopping block video. I'm not really going to address too much the products that I had already decided to declutter in the update, but that one I feel like I just needed to say it because I mean, it's the Naked palette. It's the OG Naked palette. Like, it is one of the most iconic products in the beauty industry, at least among, you know, sort of the YouTube beauty community. I finished that Tarte foundation. Do you remember that godforsaken Tarte foundation that I panned, even though not great? Rocket Volume Express mascara. Okay, I've not been great about decluttering mascaras. Pretty much everything else I can declutter, but mascaras, if you watch my videos, you know I will use them up to their last drop. So this is that mascara. I've had this for way too long. It's not even very good. It's not waterproof, so it's not optimal for me. Maybe one day I'll try this as a brow gel, because I have been doing that with another one. But yeah, for whatever reason, don't seem to be able to declutter mascaras. So this is the first product of the lot from that video that I still have, and you will see this as a running theme. I think if there's any other mascaras that I mentioned in those videos, those will have stuck around as well. Next up, we have the Revlon blush. I think that that was the cream blush, which I did actually end up decluttering, not in that video, but fairly recently. I think a month or two ago, I decluttered it to Shauna. So glad that I finally did that, because yeah, I was never into that blush. Then we've got the NYX Uncapped blush is what I referred to it as. So this is Rose Garden from NYX. It literally has no cap. I have not been able to declutter this for whatever reason. It has like a shimmer in it. It has gold glitter running through it, and I don't have any other blushes like that. Not that that's even something that I look for in a blush, but for whatever reason, you know, if there's something particular that makes a blush unique, then I'm like, oh, can't get rid of it. Nothing else in my collection like that. So yeah, unfortunately, I still do have this, but this is one that maybe one day I will declutter it. In 2023, who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what blushes I'm going to be working through? Maybe this will be on there. This is a good reminder to myself. So far we have 2 products that I still have. The next one is the Chaos NYX Lippy. This was just like a hot pink lip product that I'm so glad I decluttered, but that was in the original video. And then also a NYX lip gloss, which was just so old. And I think the cap was kind of broken or something. I like couldn't use it. I used to really enjoy that. It had a bit of a nostalgic factor with the scent, but again, I'm glad that I got rid of that in the Chopping Block video itself. 2 things that I have since decluttered are the Revlon Chubby Stick. So this was just like a lip product. I still have one of them, but I don't believe this was the original one in the video. This is in Unapologetic. And when I was originally watching these videos and going back and seeing what I had, I couldn't find this, but it had fallen to like the back of my drawer. So I still do have it. This is one of those products that in the back of my mind, I'm like, maybe one day I will declutter it, but not quite yet. I have since decluttered the other product that I did talk about in the video, because that was just more of a pink. This is a little bit more orangey. And another one is the Topshop Crayon. This was an eyeshadow, like a stick single cream eyeshadow, and I just hate those right off the bat, so I'm really glad that I got rid of it. But I didn't get very much use out of it, which I think is why I had hung on to it. It was like a black, sort of chunky silver glitter. Just not for me, but very glad that I have since gotten rid of it. So far we are only at 3 products that I still have from that original video. That's pretty good, but there's one more thing that I still have. Stink Bug deodorant. Yeah, this is still kicking. If you've watched my channel for a while, you might be like, wait a sec, I thought that was gone a long time ago because you haven't mentioned it. But no, I just haven't mentioned it, but it's still been here. I use this maybe once a month. It smells absolutely terrible. It smells like patchouli, but like the kind of patchouli that like your 7-year-old grade 9 geography teacher smells like. Not a good, cool kind of patchouli. Yeah, I still have this. I still have not managed to declutter it. So I'm sorry about that. But then the last thing that I have decluttered, I think in the video itself, I decided in the update to declutter the Revlon potted eyeshadow that I talked about. It was white, like a cool toned white that just did not work on me whatsoever. So I got rid of that in the update. But at a larger scale, I had way more of those potted eyeshadows that I have since decluttered because I put them in my Pan Those Eyeshadows project pan, so I'm really glad about that. So I didn't talk about all of those in the chopping block video, but I was sort of thinking about that in the video because I had so many of those that I just never reached for, I'd never used. So that's it for that chopping block video. Out of all those, I have 4 products still left. So not great, but obviously pretty good compared to the original 12 plus original products. So pretty good odds, still have 1/3. Let's see about the next video, my neglected products, how many of those I still have in my collection. So these aren't necessarily things that I hated as much as the chopping block video. Maybe it's another reason that I neglect them. Maybe I like them too much, but it's kind of unlikely. That is the case for the first product. I mentioned the Becca foundation as one that I never used, and there was a very good reason for this. It was because I was trying to use up my other foundations, which I didn't like as much. The Tarte foundation, as I mentioned. Now, this is not neglected at all. This is a foundation that I use pretty much every day when I wear makeup, and so good job me. Now I use it. The next one is this blush quad. This is the Collection Blush and Glow Quad, and I actually put this in a challenge where I did like 1 month only using certain makeup products challenge. Very effective. I only used this one blush, well, these two, but more this one, for 1 month, and then after that I was so close to hitting pan on this blush that I just kept using it, and I did hit pan. So yeah, there you go. If you want to solve the issue of you not reaching for a certain product, just force yourself to only use that product for a month straight. Works like a charm. So this is, well, it has kind of been neglected since that challenge, to be honest, but it doesn't look neglected because one of the things has a pan. I should probably reach for those other two, for the bronzer and the highlight. I don't like them as much as the blushes, but at least this did get some love. Okay, the next one is actually also a blush, and this one I don't have a positive check-in, unfortunately. This is another thing where I'm like, oh, maybe 2023, you know, change things up a bunch in the blush department if I finish the blush that I'm hoping to this year. So this is Mellow Wine from Wet n Wild. I know it does not look very used at all, but this actually used to be my favorite blush, but I really do need to get some more use out of it. So this is unfortunately falling in the camp of products I neglected last year that I also neglected this year. 2 good, 1 bad. The next one is the Physicians Formula Bronzer. I don't even need to talk about this. This is in my graveyard project pan, so obviously for that reason I have been getting a lot of use out of it. Again, another way to solve the issue of you not reaching for a product is to put it in a project pan. That will probably be getting decluttered soon though, to be honest. But hey, at least it's not neglected. The next one is a MAC brow pot. Ooh, I didn't even reach for this, but okay, this MAC Dirty Blonde Fluid Line Brow Gel Cream. This is something I actually do feel bad about not reaching for. It's still fine. It has become a little bit separated from the container, so it's not expired, but I think it is drying up slightly. So I really do need to reach for this more. Maybe I'll put this in my project pan next year, because I don't know what other way to incentivize myself to use something. The eyebrow products I'm using right now, they're not going to be done anytime soon, so it's not like I can just wait to finish those and then move on to this. I need to actually do something to make myself switch over to this. So good to keep in mind. I'm learning a lot from this video already. The next one is also an eyebrow product. It is the NYX Eyebrow Duo. And again, I don't reach for that at all because I've been using this other eyebrow thing. But at least the eyebrow kit I'm currently using was on my neglected products list originally, and now it's not neglected because I use it every day. So this is the Sonia Kashuk Neutral Ground Eye Duo. I mostly use the lighter shade there and then sometimes dip into the darker one, but this has been suiting me just perfectly for my eyebrows, and I've used it a lot, but as you can tell, there's a ton of product. So I have no reason to use anything else. That NYX Duo that I was talking about is basically the same shades as this. So I don't know how to unneglect that, you know, other than finishing this off. So unfortunately, that will stay neglected, but this is not anymore. Okay, so how many do we have? We've got 3 neglected and 3 unneglected. So not as good odds as with the chopping block video for sure. We've also got this Maybelline Eye Studio kit pot, and again, it's separated from these sides. I never reach for this sort of thing, as you can tell by the eyebrow duo, and maybe I should, because I talked in a recent video about how I am missing liquid liner, and this is kind of the closest thing I have to liquid liner, because you can really make the line look more like it rather than a pencil, but I don't think I have the right tool for it. I need like a really, really, really precise brush, and I don't have that. So I could try it with what I currently have. I mean, I used to use this, so I must have found something that worked, but I don't know what I'll use. So unfortunately, that has still been neglected. This is a good reminder. And then also just generally, I said eyeliners, because there's so many eyeliners I have in my collection that I never reach for, because I have a preference. I like my Urban Decay ones. I pretty much use those whenever I need eyeliner, so there's no point in reaching for any other ones. It's kind of like the eyebrow problem. So we've got 3 that are unneglected, and then everything else is neglected. So not so great odds here. Unfortunately, I haven't improved much with the products I neglect. My neglected products from last year are still my neglected products this year. But we've got one more category, or one more video I want to talk about the products in, which is products I hated. And let's talk through which of those products I still have in my collection, even though I hate them, and which have left permanently. Okay, so the products I hated. Again, I'm looking at this, and like one of the products in particular, it feels like it's been gone from my collection for so long that I'm like, how long ago was this video? You know, like, I'm sure you find that as well if you have any kind of documentation of your collection in the past, when you look back at it, you're like, oh my God, I forgot I had that terrible blush or foundation or whatever it was, because as soon as it's out, it's just like, it's wiped from your memory because you don't want to ever think about it again. But anyways, on this list as well was the Tarte foundation that I've already mentioned twice in this video, because I really, really hated that foundation. I will never know how I will feel about that foundation in a shade that works for me, because I will never repurchase. I just have too many bad memories of that foundation. So that is obviously gone, although it was panned, not decluttered. The next one is the NYC bronzer. I don't even know if I hated this bronzer because of how it was formulated or the color or whatever. I think I just had too many bronzers, and I was trying to work through this one, and it took so freaking long to work through it, like over a year. And I was like, I'm just done. I don't want this anymore. I don't want it in my collection. However, I did pan it. I did finish it. It wasn't a declutter, but again, I'm just glad to have gotten that out. The third one is the Revlon Cream Blush, which I did mention already in this video. I decluttered that to Shauna fairly recently. We're doing pretty well in this. So 3 for 3, 2 of them panned, 1 of them decluttered, which is already pretty impressive, because like, how many people would pan something they hated? Probably not everyone. That is just one of my many impressive qualities. The next one is a blush called NYX Statement Red. This one I distinctly remember, and it feels like it's been gone from my collection for so long. Probably also because I never reached for it when I actually did have it in my collection, so it feels kind of foreign to me. But it was like this weird box shape. It wasn't like this. It was like, this was the bottom, but then it was like a rounded ball of blush, and then a box like this. Very strange. I don't know why they thought that was like a good look. It wasn't. And it kind of like dried up, or it had hard pan, and I didn't realize it for a long time. So whenever I used it, I was like, why won't this work? Why won't this show up at all? It's because of the hard pan. But aside from that, I just didn't like the blush at all. It also wasn't a red. It was just a very, very bright pink. And I know that bright pink has been a really popular blush color lately, but I don't like hot pink on my lips. I don't like hot pink on my cheeks. I might like it on my eyes, but nowhere else. So that has since been decluttered. So far, all the products I hated are out of my collection, but we've got quite a few more. So let's see. Ooh, Sonia Kashuk duo. That's interesting. I didn't think that I hated that. I thought that I just didn't use it, but it was probably because I hated it on my eyes as eyeshadow. I really didn't like the color because I don't like brown eyeshadow unless it's like a very, very light shade. So I had probably not used this on my eyebrows at the time. I had only used it on my eyes, and that's why I hated it. That's funny. I completely forgot about that. Anyways, I still have it, but I'm just using it for a different purpose. The next one is the Maybelline eyeshadow quad, and that is something that I have since decluttered. Yeah, I just did not like it. I liked it initially when I got it, but over the years it just was not my color story anymore. I really only liked one shade in there. I think I decluttered that close to the beginning of this year, of 2022. And I'm very glad. I've had no regrets about decluttering that one. The next one is the Rimmel Black Liner. This was actually a surprise. I remember in that video when I was putting it on, and you can see if you rewatch it, where I'm like, oh wow, like this is actually applying very well. This is a nice color. The formula is nice. It feels good. It's a nice shade. I was very impressed with this one, and I haven't used it too much since just because I have so many eyeliners, but this is one that because of that video I decided that I would not declutter. So at least it was helpful in that sense. We've got another mascara. This is only the second mascara in this video, but like the other one, I do still have it in my collection. This is the Great Lash Lots of Lashes mascara from Maybelline. I feel like I mentioned this one recently as well. Interesting brush, but it is not waterproof, and I just don't find that this works very well. It does not hold a curl whatsoever. So yeah, I don't love it, but here it is sticking around in my collection because once again, the rule about me not being able to declutter mascara has held. But pretty good so far. We only have 3 products that I still have that I hated. Although, as I mentioned, these 2 I do not hate anymore. I've shifted their category a bit. Okay, I'm seeing some other things that have also changed category. This is a MAC. Well, I thought it was a highlight when I used it in that video, but I think from you guys commenting in that video or maybe another one, I realized it's not a highlight. This is a powder that just happens to have shimmer in it. Normally I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't like the sound of that, but there's so little shimmer, like I doubt you will be able to see any of it, that it's not a problem. It's not like I have glitter all over my skin. So this is the MAC Warm Rose Mineralized Skin Finish. Yeah, I thought that this was a highlight, and so I would apply it and be like, why is this not showing up at all? Like, I like my highlight to be fairly bright and blinding, and it's just not doing anything. Here, let me show you. Like, nothing whatsoever. But turns out as a powder, it works very well, and I don't hate it anymore. I'm going to be looking forward to using this when I use my current powder up, because I really haven't used this that much because I've been so dedicated to the Laura Mercier powder. But yeah, I no longer hate this. So we've got 3 recategorizations so far and 1 product that I still hate. But the last 2 are this duo that I don't even know if I could say I hate it. I don't know if I hated it at the time. It was just like, these were neglected and I didn't think that I would ever wear them, which, fair. I don't know if I've worn them since making that video. But this is the NYX Liquid Suede Cream Lipstick in Oh Put It On. It's like a black purple shade. And then this is the NYX Lip Liner in Blackberry. So these are both super, super dark shades, work really well together. I will probably wear these on Halloween because I have a look in mind that's kind of vampiric, and I think that they would work well together. My partner and I are being Nadja and, oh my god, I can't even remember the name. He's obsessed with What We Do in the Shadows, so that couple. But yeah, I think this will work very well. Those 2 shades there. Although other than Halloween, I never get to wear them, but at least, you know, I have something for Halloween. What would I wear if not these? Although, should I wear red lipstick? I don't know. I haven't thought that far ahead yet. I'm obviously pre-filming right now. So I don't hate these, but I do neglect them. So I'm overall pretty happy with how things went. I feel like the neglected products category did the least well. At least the products I hated and were on the chopping block, I moved most of those out, but neglected products, clearly I need to unneglect those products. But yeah, I'm happy overall. I feel like more than half the stuff I talked about has since left my collection one way or another. So good job me. and pretty proud of myself. And I did better than I anticipated I would have. But that is it. Those are all of the products that I'm going to be talking today, my relationship to them, how I used to feel about them, how I feel about them now, whether or not I decluttered them or kept them. Like, the odds aren't great in this last one because I still have 6 of the products in that video that I said I hated, but at least 5 of them I no longer hate. Just the one of them. So that's not too bad. The rest I have since decluttered or panned. But yeah, let me know what you thought of this video. I haven't done anything like it before, but I think it could be kind of fun if I did this like a year or 2 on from chopping block videos, just talking about how I changed the way I see makeup, or, you know, if those items have just left my collection altogether. Let me know what you think. But that's going to be it for today. I will also talk briefly about a book that I have been reading lately. Okay, I actually just started this morning, full disclosure, like while I was at the gym, but then I've been walking about a bunch today. So this is called This Is Going to Hurt by Adam McKay. It has also been turned into a TV show with that guy there. Don't remember his name. But it's only about 5.5, 6 hours. I'm already 2 hours in, and it's so funny. It's basically about this doctor in the UK. They call it a junior doctor there, and his experiences like with the NHS, which is the healthcare system there, which he appreciates. You know, they have universal healthcare there, as most developed nations do. But there are a lot of problems. They're still underfunding. Doctors, at least at his level, are not paid well enough, and just hilarity ensues. Like, it's obviously, some parts are depressing because he's dealing with people's lives and people do die in hospital, but he tells really funny stories about just the funniest things that happen to people, or, you know, people say funny things or they don't understand. And I'm just like, I'm laughing out loud. I was literally at the gym on a machine today, just like laughing out loud because it's so funny. Very well written. It's, you know, very quick, witty, and I would highly recommend it because I'm having the best time listening to it on audio. So yeah, This Is Going to Hurt. I do love listening to memoirs on audio rather than reading them most of the time. And look at this nice little book stack I've got here. I hope I get to talk about some of these in a follow-up video. But that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a happy Halloween, depending on when this goes up. And I will talk to you next week. Bye!